No industry is quite as diverse and competitive as beer. There are triple-hopped IPAs, crisp lagers, hefts, pale ales, wheats, ryes, and even oatmeal milk stouts. In 2012, there were 2,420 craft breweries. Today, that number is more like 6,266. So how does a startup brewery with a limited budget, no physical location, or company name make it in this bottomless sea of suds? This is the story of how Gallegos United used a Hispanic insight to speak to a generation and create one of the most talked about and fastest growing breweries on the market. We looked into the beer industry and discovered that people, especially millennials, were ditching mass-produced American lagers for the flavors of Mexican imports and craft beer. Locating ourselves in San Diego, we would capitalize on these trends by creating an American craft brewery inspired by Mexican culture. Seeing that Hispanic millennials were still new to the craft scene, we could be one of the first breweries to introduce them to craft beer through Mexican flavors and ingredients that they were accustomed to. By winning them over, we would establish immediate authenticity and credibility. Through extensive interviews with Hispanic millennials, we discovered a recent shift in how they express their identities and culture relative to how their parents did. In the 80s and 90s, the parents of Hispanic millennials were establishing themselves in America. For them, it was about retaining their heritage and culture. This led to the rise of biculturalism. Biculturalism empowered Hispanics to move between two cultures, experience two different ways of life, and choose how they wanted to live. But back then, the Hispanic and Anglo worlds rarely mixed, until they had kids. Today, Hispanic millennials still identify as bicultural, but they've blended their two worlds together and expanded their bicultural perspective into a worldly perspective, inspired by a plethora of influences from multiple cultures. Add to this the power of connective technologies and the growth of multi-ethnic populations, and you get Hispanic millennials who easily maintain fluid identities while still being connected to their heritage. While Hispanics lead culture crossing, it's a behavior that all millennials share. Millennials are the most multicultural generation in America. They value diversity because it expands their life experience, and life experience is their social currency. Ever wonder why social media platforms are dominated by millennials? Because they enable them to connect with others from around the world, share their life experiences, and shape their identities. With an understanding of how Hispanic millennials and millennials seek unique life experiences from a variety of cultures, we gave our brewery the purpose of celebrating cultural intersections. Blending English and Spanish, we created a world without borders and devised our own voice in Spanglish, hence SouthNorte. Our beers combine the unique flavors and experimentation of Mexican homebrews with the precision and quality of San Diego craft beer. Even our packaging was designed to be a metaphor for how Hispanic millennials live. All have a scene intricately depicted in the background, but with two different color overlays meant to symbolize the way Hispanic millennials move between worlds. At every touchpoint, we tell the story of how two cultures come together in the spirit of creativity and collaboration. In our first year, we won a bronze medal at the Great American Beer Festival. BeerAdvocate.com named us one of the top 50 new U.S. breweries, and we've acquired over 625 distribution sites. We're heading north, across state lines, and across the border, down south, with a brand that the country and world can drink in.